Vegapunk's redemption. Hello, One Piece enthusiasts. I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about Vegapunk. So, the mad scientist, the genius behind it all, the person who has been able to make an island 200 years advanced than the rest of the world, the scientist who has been able to make weapons out of humans and weapons that would listen to you and make so many things that the world couldn't even imagine, is trying to make his last redemption to the world. Before you move on, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. So, where does it all begin? It all begins with Vegapunk's character. This video is trying to just justify Vegapunk as a character. And on the subscale of things, on the surface scale of things, Vegapunk seems to be a pretty nice person. Someone who is trying to work for the greater good of the world, trying to advance technology the way it used to be, and making sure that people's lives are comfortable, making sure that science advances, making the world a better place. But in return, it's actually making the world a worse place than we actually think it is. Where does it all begin? It all begins with Vegapunk talking to Dragon after the Ohara incident, where he was given a choice between either helping Dragon and the Revolutionary Army uprise against the world government, and Vegapunk's help with technology. With his knowledge of science and technology would take things a lot farther. But of course, one thing Dragon lacked, which the world government did not, is funding. And Vegapunk, being the greedy person he is, we all blame York for whatever happened in Egghead Island. With the Gorosei and with the lava sphere, whatnot, the betrayals, we all seem to blame York. But remember, guys, York is a part of Vegapunk. The greed that York showed is what drove Vegapunk away from Dragon, and it's what took him to the world government. And let's be completely honest, if Vegapunk wasn't the scientist that helped out the world government, I don't really think the world government would have as much power as they have now. And I'm not just talking about the Mother Flame. I'm talking about the pacifistas, the advanced weapons. We don't even know how much Vegapunk did. We only know about the Seraphims, the cyborgs, and the Mother Flame. Other than that, we have really no idea how much contribution Vegapunk has made over the last 20-ish odd years that the world government has gained so much power over. So with that being said, yeah, there is no morally good character. In the eyes of the world, Dragon is a revolutionary. Dragon is someone who is going against the law. Being a former Marine himself, he is going against the law and order for the greater good. In fact, everyone here is working for the greater good. There is no evil, there is no good in the world of One Piece. What it truly is perspectives. The rulers and the people that are being ruled. With that being said, Vegapunk knew what he was getting into. He knew exactly well that the world government would use his technology to maybe even harm civilians. Vegapunk isn't dumb. Yes, granted, he didn't know as much about the Void Century as he does now, as he did when the Ohara incident happened, but he definitely knew. If Dragon had enough knowledge to leave the world government while being a Marine and trying to go against it, I'm quite sure Vegapunk knew of Dragon's reasonings and knew the internal workings and the overall grandiose plan of the world government. But then again, Vegapunk just accepted his greed, followed his greed towards the world government, and decided to help them anyways. And what ended up happening was, innocent people got hurt, especially after the Mother Flame. Granted, making the Mother Flame and not telling the world government is not his fault. But the fact that that could have been used for something that he didn't want it to be used for is kind of silly. For the smartest man in the world to not figure this out, it's kind of silly. And of course, let's just talk about the elephant in the room, which is Kuma. Yeah, Vegapunk had to do whatever he had to do. There was no other choice. But he is a hypocrite. When all is said and done, he had the option to not do whatever he could have done with Kuma. But he chose to do it anyways. And I'm not saying, even after saving Kuma's memories and giving them to Bonnie, realizing that Kuma's the one who made the choice, Vegapunk had the option to do something about it, but he did not. And even with that being said, with his creation of Mother Flame Lulu, she got destroyed. The ancient weapon is back on track. And the amount of the wealth of knowledge he does have, it's entirely possible if the world government gets their hand on this, they're probably going to create more havoc and, of course, ruin a lot of civilians' lives with this knowledge, with this technology, considering how much power they have over the world. And Vegapunk now is trying to warn the world about the world ending, which seems kind of silly if you ask me. Because you've been working for a side that has been trying to rule over the world for over 1,000 years, and you chose to work for them, and now you're telling the world that they were the ones who made it? How can you say this? You couldn't even apologize. Granted, he didn't finish his speech, but he should have apologized. He was a double agent. He wasn't even a double agent. He wasn't really faithful to anyone if you think about it. He wasn't faithful to the world. He wasn't faithful to the world because he worked for the world government. The world government, that organization that's been ruling for 1,000 years, trying to have an iron fist and create a monarchy and, of course, all the injustice in the world. Thing responsible for creating all the injustice. And then you have the civilians who, yeah, granted, not all of them are good. Then there are pirates who create a mess and steal other people's things. And now you're trying to apologize to them. You work for the world government. Now you're backstabbing the world government by telling the world about their secrets. And you say you wanted to protect the world, but in the end you ended up harming it. So Vegapunk's character, in all honesty, is always morally grey. And the ending he deserved was very fitting. The fact that he got backstabbed, or the fact that a friend of his was the one to put an end to him, I think makes a lot of sense. And it's very fitting for a character like him, granted, given his entire history and whatnot. The entire point of this video is Vegapunk isn't a good person. Vegapunk isn't a bad person either. This just shows what geniuses could do to the world, the harm they might be able to do when trying to chase their ambitions and when they think they have humanity left in them, but they really don't. That's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. It's a very controversial thing to talk about. It's something I've been putting off for a very long time. But to be completely honest, this is how much I wanted to say. That, yeah, everyone has dreams, everyone has ambitions, but not every ambition are meant to be fulfilled. And in order to fulfill such crazy ambitions, sacrifices have got to be made, and these sacrifices are probably not enough. Or is probably not justified, or is ever justified. Weapons can be used for good and evil. You just have to know who to give it to. And unfortunately, Vegapunk chose the wrong person. That's it for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about Vegapunk's character and his redemption. And until next time, peace.